Spoken by BFU. I'm Coach, and I be fed up. Now, today I'm going to talk about income tax. And I be fed up with the income tax system we have, and I think everybody in the country's fed up with it. Now, we've got everybody got their own opinion. But the biggest problem we have with the income tax system is that it's not fair. Okay? First off, everything the government does, they do backwards. Okay? The income tax system, the more money you make, the higher your rate. Okay, so that's punishing you for doing well. It doesn't make sense to charge a higher rate just because you make more money. Because you happen to be very successful, so you're going to pay a higher rate. Now, you should pay more taxes because you make more money, but you should not pay a higher rate. But then they turn around and they give the really wealthy all these loopholes and all these extra deductions that most people can't get, so they wind up paying less taxes. I remember Trump and Hillary was talking about how he didn't pay his fair share of taxes. Well, she didn't either, and neither does any of her donors, because of the way the tax code is set up. And the fact is, if I made as much money as Trump did, I'd use every loophole I could get out of paying as much tax as I could, because it's not fair. So Congress will never get it done. It'll take a constitutional amendment, but the income tax system, the way it is, I just be fed up with it. And we need to throw the whole thing in the garbage and start over. Two things. First off, income tax is 5%. You make $1, you pay a nickel in income tax. And it doesn't matter if you make $100 a year, or you make $100 million a year, or you make $5 trillion a year. You pay 5% of what you make to income tax. No deductions, no exemptions. You don't get extra. Okay, I'm married. I have children, or they're all grown now, but I have children and grandchildren, and I shouldn't get an extra tax break, because they're going to penalize Johnny over here because he didn't get married, or because he didn't have kids. Okay, just do away with all of that and make everything real simple. And you no longer fill out an income tax return, you fill out a tax statement, because you should have paid exactly what you should have paid. Okay, and you pay 5% across the board. No deductions, no exemptions, no loopholes, 5% across the board. Well, I said, that 5%, that won't make. Okay, you're right. It probably won't be enough to meet our obligations. So you do a sales tax. Everybody's afraid of a sales tax, but here's the fact about a sales tax. You don't want to pay the sales tax? Don't pay it. Just don't buy something that's taxed. Okay? Medical and food should not be taxed. So, if you don't want to pay the sales tax, just don't buy anything but food, or pay for your doctors and medicine, and you don't have to pay any taxes on it. Don't buy a car, you don't have to pay tax. Don't buy a house, you don't have to pay sales tax. Wear your same clothes that you've had for years. I mean, I do that anyway, but you can do that. You don't have to pay tax on it. But it should, and now that tax would probably have to be about 8.5%. If you we got this system in place. So, well, if you're going to do that, why not just do just a sales tax, and that's the only tax? Well, you need in my opinion, you need the income tax in place, even if it is a smaller amount, just for the purposes of income tax evasion. And people like Al Capone and those guys, that's how they got put in prison, was for income tax evasion. It wasn't for all the crimes they committed, it was for the income tax evasion. And Al Sharpton, people like that they don't pay their taxes. And you just, and nonprofits, you don't have to pay tax on what you get if you're a nonprofit, but people don't get a deduction for paying to it. Now, and it's, it's, oh, you got to do that or they won't give. Well, most people are generous and they will give to those. A tax deduction makes it a little easier, but they will still donate because they're generous people, not because they get a tax break. I mean, why would you donate $100 just to get the tax break when the tax break, if your tax rate is only, 15%, you still got to pay taxes on the $85. So, I mean, it's not like you eliminate your taxes altogether by donating enough money. Okay. The money, it doesn't come out of your taxes. It comes out of it lowers your taxable income. So it really won't hurt. People that tithe, they're going to pay their tithe to their church, whether they get a tax deduction or not. And for most people, you would have the same amount of charity. And even without the tax deduction, with the 5% flat rate, they pay less taxes anyway. Now, the only exception you make to that is that people that are financially below the poverty line need to not pay any taxes or close to the poverty line. Well, they don't need to pay any taxes that will put them below the poverty line. Rather than that, everybody pays based on what they make. Okay, you earn whatever you earn, you pay 5%. It's fair. People would not complain about it near as much. They wouldn't cheat on taxes as much. They do all this stuff and they complain about it, and they cheat on their taxes because they don't believe the tax system is fair. You make it fair, and the vast majority of people will not mind the income tax if it's fair. Thanks for listening. I'm Coach, and I'll be fed up.